it's becoming really obvious to a lot of people. We saw it coming pretty early on that people migrating out of cities was always happening anyway. People, as they get older, they have kids, they want a backyard, they start favoring schools rather than, how close the nearest coffee shop is to walk, right? So that's something that was happening anyway. It's accelerating because of COVID, no doubt about it. Suburban real estate companies are busy as can be. Houses are flying off the shelves in suburbs all across America. COVID was part of it. Riots and protests don't help. And so not only is it suburban real estate, but it's also real estate down in the places where the big migration was headed, right? The path of migration also accelerating, right? I moved from New York to North Carolina 7 years ago, and all my friends from way back then all the way up till last year were like, I mean, that's so cool. We got to do that. We want to retire down there. We're going to come visit you and so forth. Now they're like, we're coming Tuesday to visit you. I'm like, yo, hold off. Let's let the cloud pass here. But they're accelerating. Everything's accelerating, right? Change that was happening anyway is accelerating. So yeah, I think suburban real estate is definitely in demand over multifamily real estate. Think of it. A house is now your office and your home, right? And people don't want to share walls with other people. They don't want to share HVAC ductwork in a building, right? It grosses them out. They don't want to share an elevator. All those things are true. And how quickly it goes back to some kind of a new normal, I don't know. But most people who move from an apartment to a house, staying in a house the rest of their life, right? So younger generations moving into apartments in urban centers, that may happen. It's going to happen, and it may get back to close to what it was before COVID. But people that once they get the experience of being able to turn your radio up as loud as you want, or have it be as quiet as you want. Nobody next door is turning up their radio too loud, right? All those things. Sitting in your back porch and barbecuing, like nothing, there's no substitute for that. So for sure.
The apartments I was in, this guy would just turn up his music as loud as he could every night. And sometimes they would literally have like physical fights. Like I thought they were going to shoot a bullet through the wall some nights. I'd be like, Jesus.
Yeah. Who needs it? So this week, big news out of Washington, the president signed an executive order to put a stay on all evictions until the end of the year. A lot of people got nervous about that. I'm not nervous about it. And the reason is that if people were going to intentionally default on their leases because they were sort of like permitted to by the government, they would have done it back in March, April, May. And they didn't, right? Single family homes, which is what we manage, is the thing that I know best. 97% of the rents were collected. That's about 1% less. So there were people that lost jobs, still paid their rent. There are people that were scared financially, but still paid their rent. Okay. Other things may have suffered. Maybe they didn't make their car payment, but they paid their rent. And it makes sense, right? I mean, this is, for 6 months, we've been told the only place you can go to stay alive is home, right? So they're not going to jeopardize that. I don't see a lot of people intentionally defaulting on leases because they're just not going to risk being tossed out on January 1st, right? If this moratorium gets lifted. So I think it's a good thing. Housing stability has been shown to be one of those things that are essential. Right? We've all talked about what's essential. We've all learned certain things are, certain things aren't over the last several months. And one of the things that's clearly essential is people's housing stability. They want to be able to renew their lease. They want to be able to, we've got people who are renting houses without seeing the houses in person. They need a place to go on the first, right? They just need a place to go. And so I'm not worried about it. I don't think anybody should freak out. We're not going to see a spike in rent defaults in the next 4 months because of this extension.